welcome to the Brother Henry and You Show. I am your host, Henry Harris. I really believe today's subject is something that many of us have dealt with in our lives as it relates to relationships, and it's one of the most devastating things that a person can go through, and that is being cheated on. And with that being said, today's subject is once a cheater, always a cheater. Now today I want to discuss this. Once a cheater, always a cheater. And I think one of the things I would like to ask is this a fact? Is it a reality that when someone decides to cheat or commit infidelity, that's what cheating is it a fact, or is it proven that a person that does that will not tend to repeat history again? But what is cheating? Cheating is an act of dishonesty or unfairly in order to gain an advantage. The word is also known as infidelity. So, once a cheater, always a cheater. Some people have claimed that this is so far from the truth, meaning that it's possible for someone to cheat and never do it again, while others believe that when you cheat, history is likely to repeat itself. I mean, I believe every experience, it varies from every experience. And not only does it vary from every experience, it always varies from person to person. Meaning, one person may be with someone who may have decided to stay with someone who's cheated, and maybe him or her have not done it again. They feel really sorry for their moral failure for cheating. And they say, you know what, I saw the damage that it caused. Not only in your partner's life, but also in your life and in your friend's life and the people that are around you. You've seen the damage and you're like, I dare not to repeat this again. Whereas you have the other side who don't see it that way. It doesn't bother them. I don't know if they're just not empathetic, or some people just don't care, or maybe perhaps some people think that they'll never get caught, which is one of many reasons why a lot of people apologize when they do cheat. I'm sorry I've cheated on you. No, you're sorry you got caught. But even in the event that if it did happen, do you think that it's important that you just become upfront and say, hey, I messed up? And we can't always control what the other person decides to do with that decision. They can either stay with you and just take the risk that you won't do it again, or they can just walk away. Someone who's cheated before is more likely than someone who hasn't cheated in the future. And there's really no way to tell that they won't. They lied before. And I want you to keep this in mind. That's the key word. They've lied before. You know what it feels like to be lied to. You know what it feels like to be manipulated, to be deceived. I don't believe in a little white lie. A lie is just a lie. You're just not being honest. You're just not being honest. So the key word is lie. They had an intent to deceive. This leads to this question. If you want to convince yourself that they will never cheat again, what does that really look like in relationships to trust? If your partner or someone cheated on you and you're in a relationship, what does that look like as it relates to trust? You can forgive the cheater and create boundaries thinking that they will never do it again. But how do you fully and honestly trust someone again who has totally violated your trust? It's easy to say, oh, I trust him, but what does that look like in relations to trust or to a relationship, the both of them? What does that really look like? If someone came to you and said, or the person that you're with, I've cheated on you, I'm sorry, everything that they say. And let's say that they did that and you tell them, all right, you know what, I see that you're really sorry about what you did. I want you to know that I will trust you again. The reality of it is that it's still going to be in the back of your mind what they did to you. So let's just be quite honest and frank. Do you really trust them again? I mean, can you really trust someone again who has violated your trust, who's lied to you, who had the intent to deceive you? You pretty much say, I trust him or her, while in the back of your mind, what if? Is that really trust? They have cheated before, they've lied to you before. This seems to be like an emotional roller coaster ride for you, because you're sitting here in the back of your mind, I trust him, he won't do it again, he won't cheat on me. But in the back of your mind, you're like, what if? So his phone goes off or her phone goes off. Your heart starts beating fast. What if this is it? Or maybe he or she is gone longer than usual. Maybe they're showing in your mind, some unusual behaviors, and maybe they're not even cheating at all, but because you've been cheated on in the past, you pretty much put a wall of protection up. You're pretty much on alert, thinking that, he's or she has done this before. What's to say that they won't repeat it again? And my question is that really trust? Why even take yourself through that again? Is it really worth it to stay with someone who has cheated on you before in the past? And I'm not saying we don't all make mistakes. We all have our share of mistakes. I've had my share of mistakes. So this seems to be like an emotional roller coaster, because you are uncertain and you don't feel secure. A lot of people say trust is earned, but my question is it? As it relates to cheating, is it really earned? Because I hear a lot of people say, oh, trust is earned. You have to earn my trust. Another question is, what does that even look like? For somebody to earn your trust, what does that look like? And someone say, or said, well, that looks like creating some healthy boundaries, right? You do this, maybe we share the same password, maybe you try to prove to me that you will never do this again. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to tag someone along who has violated your trust and who has cheated on you, because they have to earn it. And even hypothetically speaking, even if they get to the place where they finally got there, where they fully earn your trust again, have they really? Let's just be real. Have they really? Where does it start where you say you have to earn my trust, and where does it end? Without you still having those thoughts in the back of your head, what if this person cheats on me again? What if they violate me again? What if they do me wrong again? Why do people cheat? Can we talk about that for a second? The reality is some people will never be faithful, and they know it. It costs to be committed to one person. That's truly a struggle in a society where we have a variety of options and so many temptations. So keep in mind, when you cheat and decide to stay with that person, things will be different. They will be different. I like what I wrote here. I said the reality is some people will never be faithful. They never will. So why would you choose to stay with someone like that? And like I said, I'm not saying don't do it. They may have made some drastic changes in their life to prove to you that they will never cheat again. But some people will never be faithful. I think when it comes to stuff like this is where you should be honest as a person and say, even though I personally think it's risky, but if you're the type of person that likes to sleep around with multiple people and you just can't be committed to one person, just don't get into a committed relationship. Do your own thing. So many people, they know they can't be faithful. They know they can't be locked down in a marriage or with one person. They like the options that's out there. I don't think that's wrong in the sense, it's wrong if you're in a relationship and you're still trying to explore your options. There's no options when you're in a relationship. There's no option when you're married. But why involve yourself in something that has such a sacred commitment? Well, that's a relationship with someone or a marriage, knowing that you're really not the type of person that honors commitment. I personally think it comes down to who the individual is as it relates to the question, why do people cheat? It comes down to who the individual is. It comes down to who they are. It comes down to their integrity, their dignity as a person. Like I said, you have some people that just simply don't care. You have some people who do it and they don't think they'll ever get caught. Some people are very insensitive as it relates to this subject. Very insensitive. So for some, cheating is a response to unresolved trauma. It can be bad relationships, lack of sexual intimacy, falling out of love, low self-esteem, or overall unhappy. These are some reasons why people cheat. Now we know that there is no excuse for it. So in the event you may feel going down this path, it's important to be honest with yourself. It really is important to be honest with yourself. These are just a few reasons why people cheat. Maybe it's lack of intimacy. Maybe it's the way they're being treated. There's literally no excuse. I've always said this. If one is in a relationship and you really think that you don't have an issue being committed to that person, as much as it would hurt, and I've always said this, I would tell that person, you know what, I can't do it. And sometimes you don't have to give them an explanation. You know what's going down. Rather than hide it, why don't you just exit the relationship that you're in or exit the marriage that you're in and just go do your own thing. That way you're not hurting the person that you're with. No one forces you to cheat. It's a personal choice. I hear some people say, well, she made me get in bed with her. No, she didn't. She didn't make you get in bed with her. Or he didn't make you get in bed with her. That's just impossible. They made me do it. They didn't make you do it. You were tempted. You played your part and it happened. So nobody forces you. This is where we try to shift the blame and responsibility off of us and what we've done and try to put it on another person. Well, they made me do it, or they forced me, or they tempted me. No, you had a part to play in it as well. You're not as innocent as what you think you are. Another question is, does cheating always involve sex? A lot of times when you think about cheating, the first thing people will say as it relates to cheating, a lot of people will say, well, they must have slept with somebody else. They must have sex with somebody else. But I don't think overall that's what cheating is all about. When you think of cheating, the first thing that comes to your mind is sex. But what if there's many forms to cheating? I do believe that cheating does come in many forms. Maybe some of these forms you may not be aware of. Maybe they may be something that you may deem as innocent. They may be innocent, but also some of the things that we consider innocent can most likely lead to something else. Cheating can manifest in numerous ways, from physical affairs to emotional. There are different types of cheating. I want to give a few before we say bye. You have romantic cheating. This is when a person has sex with someone that's not their partner. Now I added this one. You have number 2, you have flirting. Behave as though attracted to or trying to attract someone. I know a lot of people say, well, there's a healthy flirting. I don't believe there's a healthy flirting. Now, I will say this much. I was telling somebody this the other day when I told her I was working on this. There are people out there that will mistake your kindness for flirtation. They will. Like, for example, I'm a very kind person. I like to hug. I like to joke around. You know, I like to be funny, especially with my close friends. Now, there may be somebody that may not know Henry, and I'm nice to them and giving them a hug and kind to them. Hey, how was your day? I'm engaging with them. They may mistake that, oh, Henry's flirting with me, when in reality, I'm not. So we got to make sure we don't get those two confused. Some people do flirt on purpose with the intent to do whatever they want to do with that person, or whatever that leads to. It could definitely lead to cheating. If you are purposely flirting with someone all the time, it can definitely lead to that. I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes it can. But just because you're nice and kind to someone, these are things that they may not be familiar with. Sometimes it could lead to that. So you have romantic cheating, you have flirting, you have emotional cheating. This is something that develops between both parties. There's a closeness that develops with them both. It's called emotional cheating. And you have cyber cheating. This is cheating online through text. Any behavior that's conducted through digital means or communication. Being cheated on can cause a significant pain because it is often involves a betrayal of trust. We talked about trust earlier, didn't we? But I want to also say this: if someone violates your trust, never feel like you have to stay with them. Sometimes you have to liberate yourself and walk away, or perhaps be with someone who know what it means to be committed to one person. Thank you so much for watching the Brother Henry and You Show. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/HenryHarris100. Follow us on Facebook.com/The Brother Henry and You Show. We'll see you next week.